Lindsay here, and this is my review for Hereditary. Fuck.
Sometimes I swear I can feel them in the room.
I was able to score a ticket for an advanced screening of this film, and I went by myself, which may not have been the best idea, but I went by myself. It was at the Alamo Drafthouse, and afterwards they had a live stream Q&A with the director and two of the actors. I didn't know a lot about this film going in. I just knew that there was a lot of hype around it, about how scary it was gonna be, and so I didn't really expect anything else than that. Oof. This is a really hard movie to talk about without spoiling the entire thing, and I don't want to spoil this movie for anybody. I've had lots of movies spoiled for me, and it really pisses me off. I still fucking hate Craig Kilborn for ruining The Sixth Sense on his fucking TV show that I'm glad is canceled. I haven't seen anything like this in the theater in over 20 years. Nothing like it. Now you can take that as good or as bad, but this is definitely not your run-of-the-mill, wide-release horror film, because it's actually a true horror film. There's a whole myriad of things that go as horror these days, and mostly it's just a bunch of jump scares and stupid mythology. But this is something different. This is actual, true, visceral horror, and not just something to make you scared. This is disturbing on another level. I'm still trying to process some of the stuff that I saw on screen because it was so bizarre and very disturbing and just heart-wrenching. From the second the movie opens, the first few frames you see, you can tell that there's definitely something not right. And that kind of feeling and presence and atmosphere, yes, this movie actually has atmosphere, carries throughout the entire film. And it's a slow burn, but it slowly ramps up and up and up, little by little. And it takes you on this ride. And the ending, I believe, is very earned from the journey that the filmmaker took us on, because you actually care about these characters, and you know these characters because you spent the past 2 hours just marinating in their grief and their dysfunction and their terrible personal relationships and the just true horror that is their lives. They've had these terrible, terrible things happen to them that I wouldn't wish on anyone. I can't imagine going through some of the things that this family goes through. As far as the acting goes, it's extremely well done. The little girl who plays Charlie is very, very good. I mean, she's gonna be right up there with the creepy child actor greats of the classic horror films. The kid who plays Peter was very good, because over the progression of this film, you just see him slowly and then very quickly just disintegrate emotionally and psychologically until he's just pretty much a husk. Gabriel Byrne is a fantastic actor, always does good work. He plays the husband and father of this family. He doesn't get a lot of screen time or a lot of dialogue, but you can just, it's written all over his face. He is trying his best to hold this family together and to placate his wife, who is obviously going through something. And he is simultaneously trying to walk on eggshells around her and kind of indulge her enough to where he can keep his sanity, but also keep his children safe, and to not let this family completely rip itself apart. And finally, I want to talk about Toni Collette. She is absolutely amazing in this film. She deserves so much accolade for this role. The grief and horror and guilt that comes across in her performance is astounding. You feel it just washing over you through this entire film. In the Q&A, the kid who plays Peter, Alex Wolf, I think his name is, he kind of put it in a kind of interesting perspective. He said that about halfway through the film, the story smokes crack and goes to hell. And I'd say that's a pretty fair assessment. And this isn't a film that is weighed down by exposition. You discover bits and pieces of what's going on, but you are discovering things as the characters are discovering things. So you don't get the entire picture of exactly what is going on, but you really don't need to. One of my favorite things about this film is Toni Collette, her character. She's an artist and she makes miniatures, like these doll houses and miniature scenes and settings, and she has a deadline coming up for a showing, and so that puts extra pressure on her character. And there's pieces of her work throughout the entire house, and the opening of the film is the camera zooming in on a piece of her work, which becomes the house this family lives in. And throughout the entire film, there's something about the house that doesn't quite seem real or solid. It seems temporary or artificial because it looks like a giant dollhouse on the inside. The furniture doesn't look lived in. The interior design looks like what you would see in a miniature house or a dollhouse. And that's another way that this film makes you unsettled, that things are not quite what they seem in this story. But yeah, I went and saw this film by myself. I drove 2 hours to the theater to see it, and afterwards I had to drive in the dark by myself for 2 hours on these dark, desolate Midwestern roads. And after you see the film, you will know exactly why that would have been a little unnerving. And it's been killing me since I saw the movie. No one else I know has seen it yet, and I am just dying to discuss this film with someone in depth after they've seen it, because like I said, I don't want to ruin any kind of aspect of this film whatsoever for anyone, because you truly need to go to the theater, watch it yourself. Hopefully there's a lot more people in the theater with you, because that always makes movies like this that much more fun. But I don't know if fun should be used in any kind of context when talking about this movie. If I had to compare it to anything else, like I said, nothing in the past 20 years is I can really compare it to as far as a wide theatrical release film, but it reminded me the most of Rosemary's Baby as far as tone and themes going on within the film. That's kind of all the detail I want to go into on that, because like I said, I don't want to ruin anything. But definitely if you're a horror fan, go see this movie, because even if you liked it or didn't like it, you will definitely not be able to get some of the images out of your head for quite a while. And it's a great movie to discuss and analyze and pick apart. So go see it, and then take other people to see it so that you can see their reactions to it as they're going through it. Definitely check it out. Even for just Toni Collette's performance alone. I mean, she was amazing. She was amazing in this film. That's gonna do it for this review. I'll check you later.